following our Facebook posts, you will know that we have emerging nasheed artist Zaid Isa all the way from South Africa with us today in the studio. Zaid is currently in the UK on a major publicity tour around his release of his debut album. Now, before we welcome Zaid onto the show, I'm going to share one of his songs with you. I've been listening to his album today, and so far it's one of my favorite songs I'm going to play now. And I love it because it's got such an acoustic vibe to it. But stay with us, please, because we're going to have Zaid Isa with us, and we will also have a special guest in the studio. Assalamu alaikum listeners, you're listening to 106.2 FM Salaam Radio, and what an amazing song that was. That was a title song to Zaid Isa's latest album, his debut album actually, and you're all lucky because we have him right here in the studio. Assalamu alaikum Zaid, how are you doing?
Good, yourself man?
Alhamdulillah, really good to have you in the studio today.
I'm so happy to be here.
Mashallah, mashallah. Now, before we even get into the questions, how are you finding the British weather?
It's cold. I have to be honest, it's really cold for me. Like it never gets, like the coldest day in from where I'm from in Durban in South Africa, it's nowhere near this.
Nowhere near.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're midsummer now, so yeah, it's even worse.
Midsummer.
It's
okay.
even worse. Yeah.
So it's a real extreme for you. Excellent. So as you said, you are from South Africa.
Yeah.
And you're here in the UK on a major PR tour around your the release of your debut album. Now, what's your album called?
It's actually I didn't want to put a label on it. It's a self-titled album, Zaid Isa, and I feel people should listen to the songs, get an experience of me, and decide for themselves like how they would like to describe it, you know. So
oh wow, okay,
because I couldn't really choose one particular song. I have my own personal favorites, but
excellent. I don't think I've ever heard of that, but that's really good. I like that. I like the fact that you want to get
it's my first album, and like I have so much of myself in it that I just like here it is, and you guys decide.
Excellent. Now, if you are Facebook Live and you are watching us on Facebook, you're probably also wondering who is that guest sat in the corner over there. And I'm just gonna put his fader up. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Now, if you can recognize his voice, this is Saif Adam, our very own Saif Adam, down from up from London, should I say. He's joining us in the studio with Zaid Isa. So we're going to talk about what Saif is doing here with us today, and we're going to share how he's been working with Zaid Isa. So, Brother Zaid, you've just released your debut album and you're touring the UK. Can you tell us about your background? Because I've seen photos of you on Facebook, and I know I've been communicating with you in the past, and I've seen you in quite a formal uniform there. So
I need to explain this properly, otherwise it gets a bit complicated. So I'm a soldier. I'm a captain in the Defence Force. I'm what we call in South Africa biokineticist, where we do rehabilitation and stuff. But I always like to tell people like I'm a medic. I'm not one of the sniper guys or any of the dangerous soldiers.
You're a peaceful soldier.
Yeah,
soldier of peace.
Yeah, I'm a soldier.
There you go.
The lyricist is here. So that's one half of me, and the other half is obviously a nasheed artist and someone who's trying to do the same, trying to spread love, but in a different way.
Wow, that's excellent. So, I mean, that's like, in my mind, I'm thinking about the regimental style of which, you know, you soldiers live, and then you've released your first album, and the amount of creativity that goes into producing an album and putting it out there. Do you feel like you've crossed boundaries?
I feel like it's a different part of me. Everyone sort of goes with the whole, soldiers are disciplined and this and that. And that's cool, but at the same time, like, everyone has something within themselves. And I always say this, that like Allah puts something in you that when you tap into it, like, you can't deny it. And I feel the nasheeds and creativity and spreading love and whatever I'm putting into this album, I think that's something that Allah has put in my heart, that I'm like trying to nurture and trying to, let like the seed is there and I'm trying to pour water on it by doing all these things and hoping the flower will grow into something beautiful. And I know like you're also a musician, like the feeling of creativity and stuff. It's something beyond, you can't really describe it. You just know it's really awesome. Yeah. So I think that's where I am now.
And that's it. And I think we all have creativity in us, because sometimes people say to me, you're a maths teacher and you're singing a song. Wow, what's going on there? But it's a parallel, isn't it?
But I think everyone has it.
We all have a bit of creativity in us.
I think some maths teachers are like hectically creative, and those are the, like even accountants, like Allah put something in you, and then when you tap into it, whether it's maths or accounting or whatever, or like people who run across the world or something, these crazy things, people can't understand it if they don't feel it. But when you find that thing, then you understand why everyone else does these crazy things.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, you're here in the UK, and I've seen you on your Insta stories, and I've seen Saif Adam on his Insta stories as well, and you two have been together. So Saif, can we bring you in here? What's going on? How has this all worked out? By the way, before you answer that, I love it when artists come together and they collaborate. I think it's absolutely amazing. Yeah. It feels like it's really real, and it makes me so happy, and I'm sure it gives that warm feeling in everybody's hearts. But yeah, how did it all work out?
So cool. We're going back far, man. Probably about a year and a half ago.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
Well, technically longer than
so,
that, yeah.
So this was when I was touring my first album, which was Heart. And I get a lot of emails and DMs from artists and supporters and that. But someone that caught my eye was Zaid. And he literally sent me a song and he said, "What do you think?" And I was brutally honest. And but you know why, man? Because I want.
It was that good, right?
And it wasn't actually that it was bad. It was like, look, if you really want this, I could give you some tips that can really help you. And he had a great, I knew his intention was pure, because after a while when we was like messaging, he was like, look, I just want to do good, I just want to put good quality material out there. So I was like, okay, cool, I can help with that. If there's anything I can do, that's my skill. You guys were talking numbers. I'm not blessed with numbers, but alhamdulillah, I'm blessed with the ability to write some good songs. So fast forwarding, because we haven't got a whole year for me to discuss this. We then had, it was like 6 months we didn't hear from each other at all, and then he come back and said, look, I'm ready to give it a go. Let's work on a couple of tracks. And I said, okay, cool, do you want to come over to England? And I was thinking, he's not going to but if he does, alhamdulillah, it'll be really cool to work together. And lo and behold, he did. Wow. He booked the tickets and he came over, and from then it was weird, because the album wrote itself. Honestly, we did 3 songs, and then he decided to extend his stay because it went so well, and he was like, you know what, I think I'm going to do my whole album here, as opposed to just 3 songs and do more in South Africa. I'm speaking for you here, by the way, and I think he felt a vibe. Yeah, you don't need to be here, Zaid. I'll just talk everything. And it basically evolved from there, man, like a friendship. And I really want to see him do well. I mean, Toqeer, you know me, man. Like, I want to support up-and-coming talent. And I think it's important that we do it. Like, we can't just ignore people that are knocking on the door and saying, hey, I've got something fresh. That was different. That was what Zaid come with. He came with something fresh, and that's what I like, and I like to celebrate that,
So just for the sake of the listeners, Zaid contacted you. Sorry, can I just get this right?
Saif approached me. He was like, I have to work with you. I found you. Can I please pay you to come to the UK?
Oh, excellent. Oh my God. So I mean, because as a established artist, right, Saif, you must get loads of people sending you stuff, and most of the time you're like, keep going, keep trying, and then, but you actually, Zaid, you've actually just jumped on a plane and said, okay, I'm coming to meet you, you're going to help me write some songs, and that it just went from there.
So the psychology behind that was that the 3 songs, because okay, you guys know Saif Adam, like household name, but Album in South Africa, I know him as an artist on YouTube, Facebook, and
not friends or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so we said, I think we said one song first. Yeah, and then it went to 3 songs, and I was only supposed, that was the plan. When I landed here, it was 3 songs. And then once we got here, the 3 songs, once we were done, I was like speaking to the people back home, speaking to my team, spoke to my wife, and they were like, damn, finish it now. Like,
you're here, just do it.
Do it. Like, these 3 songs are so amazing. Just while you're there, while you have him. And it was a good decision, alhamdulillah, because he released Praise like a few months later, and I couldn't get hold of him because he was so busy.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah, because he was here on Salaam Radio.
Yeah. And that's like, alhamdulillah, I really appreciate that, because that was one of the concerns. Like, because I felt maybe I should go home and come back, but it wouldn't have happened. I think he was just too busy.
You just like bite the bullet.
Yeah, I think in entertainment you gotta have that sort of attitude that was it strike while the iron is hot?
Yeah.
Like if he's there, go for it.
But I think Allah willed it though. Like we always like when we're in discussion, we always say, but it happened so easy. Doors just opened up.
Meant to be,
you know, like and I genuinely believe that. And
when something's going to happen, it's weird how everything just falls into place, and boom,
I agree.
A year or 2 years later,
it's been a very like creative but also spiritual experience.
Yeah.
In terms of like trusting Allah and just going. It's a huge step for coming to come over, you know.
And it wouldn't have happened if your intentions weren't true, right? Because and that's an important message.
That's something you always got to think about. Like, it's not only one point in your life. Every time something happens, you got to like, are you on the right track? Are you on the right track?
Yeah.
Like you do your album, you're like sky high. You got to like, okay, focus. PR tour, going back to South Africa now.
Back to normal life.
You got to refocus. You know?
Recheck your intentions.
There's always moments where
Absolutely.
you know.
So this is, I find this quite extraordinary because, as I was saying, say if you're an established artist, right, you have got, without like trying to big you up in any way, but you got thousands of followers online. You have, and you're a busy artist.
Yeah.
But you made time for somebody that you didn't even know. And if I mean, I'm a fan of Ed Sheeran, right? But I don't think I'm going to get into the studio with him in a couple of years and come out with a couple of albums. So I think that's pretty amazing that you've actually taken time out to do that for somebody else. Because
I think I had a successful 3 years right prior to that.
Right.
And then something happened, and I just become obsessed with helping people. And that's kind of where it stemmed from. And it was the timing, like, you know, the timing where I listened to the tracks and I was like, yeah, man, look, do this, give this a go. But actually, to be honest, it was all on him as well, because I do respond to people. Like, I always respond back to people and say, look, this is good, this is bad. Some just, they don't respond back, and that's perfectly fine. I've given my 2 pence in. But alhamdulillah, like, you know, Zaid was like, it's like he was chipping away at something. And he knew that he actually knew it wasn't ready. He didn't say, I know this is the best song and it's going to go viral. It's like, he was just like, can you assist me? And I quite like the tone of how he was approaching it, and I think that's why you got my support, to be honest. And
I always like to say, like, I don't like to give other young artists the wrong impression. I didn't give him a call like, hey, I want to come to the UK, and he was like, oh sure. It's not. It happened over like 18 months. I would message him. The song would be half good, right? He'd say, well, your melody is good, your whatever, your writing is good, but your production's not up there. So I would go back, I would scrap that, or, you know, deal with the disappointment of not having the right product and start again and do another song. And he would say, okay, well, you got that. And that happened over a long period of time. And
so basically like a mentor, right? You mentored him even though he wasn't even here in the UK.
And that in itself, alhamdulillah, may Allah bless Saif for that.
I mean.
Even up till today, it's like he's giving all the time. And that's so important in this industry, to have people like that who like, I've made it, and now it's not like I'm going to keep it.
It's all about me, fame,
you know,
and stardom.
And it's an Islamic value to give. And I believe like Saif will be, inshallah, my du'as forever now, because he's made such a big difference to my nasheed career. And also, like, for me as a nasheed artist now, I know the path is not, I'm in the UK now. When I go back to South Africa, I'm the man or something. When I go back, I'm doing workshops. I'm planning to try and bring Saif down, some of Saif's other like well-known the influences from the UK. This build, like what he's done with me, I want to give it, because it's an Islamic value that I think like it's touched me so much that it'd be really weird for me to just try and keep it to myself. So that's the whole, like that's the beauty of
and that's an honorable quality, right? When you have something good, that you want to share it with people because you want everybody to benefit from that. And especially in the music world that we live in, you know, people, we hold on to our art, we hold on to our talent. And if you look in mainstream music, like I was saying about Ed Sheeran, if I ever wanted to contact anybody and say, I really like that song, can you help me write mine? What is the chances that somebody's going to turn around and say to me, you know, and I'm not knocking the mainstream artists.
Yeah, sure,
obviously,
sure.
It's a totally different ballgame. They're you know, it's so much busier. I can
but
only imagine.
my philosophy is it doesn't hurt to just send an email.
Yeah,
because that's what happened with Safe. I mean, initially I was like I've messaged other artists who like, and they haven't replied, but you only need the one person to reply, and it changes everything. And
what a shame! What a shame for people not responding. Like, he's given birth to this really cool album, and all he's done is just given positivity to the world. So if there's any other artists out there that they don't support up and coming talent, it's like, well, what was the objective of you singing Nasheed? You may as well do like mainstream stuff, because my whole point is community, unity, and bring people together and raise us as people, as people to be reckoned with, you know, as artists.
Why it's so necessary as well, because Safe has the mainstream, the standard that we lack in general. He has that experience and know-how, and I was really trying. I used to really try and put myself on a professional level, but you know, we discussed this. You don't know what you don't know. And when someone who's been there comes into the nasheed industry, it raises the standard. And that's what you need. Like, a lot of nasheed artists are probably trying their best and they think it's the best, but they just haven't had someone to come and say, look, you need to do 1, 2, 3. And my whole thing is transformed completely, online, offline, everything, in terms of what he's taught me. And I don't think I could have YouTubed or Googled that type of information. And to build up not only the music industry, the nasheed industry, even in terms of art and whatever other, like acting or whatever, you need people to come in and say, this is the standard, this is the model, this is the formula. And then we raise up. I've got a good friend who says something, we rise as we pick others up, or something like that. We rise as we pick everyone up, or something like that. And it's so true.
Absolutely. Wow.
Alhamdulillah.
So obviously the message then, I'm thinking about the listeners here, and I'm thinking about the message to the listeners, and that's got to be that if you think that you have a talent, if you think you can do something, at the moment you might try and you might think, oh my God, that looks terrible. Don't feel that's not, you've got to stop there. If you've got a passion for something, get out there and go and do it. Put your heart into it. Make sure you have the right intentions and reach out to people. You know, as I think in the Muslim world that we live in now, we need to have more and more artists out there. We want to have more people in that sector, because, you know, let's face it, we all grow up with, you're going to be a lawyer, doctor, or something like that. We're bored of that, man. And it's beyond that. We are all human beings. We all have a creative side. Like you said, you're a soldier, but you've got this creative side to you as well. You know, I'm a teacher, and me and Saif were just jamming earlier on, having fun. Yeah. So, I think that's a really important message to give out to people. But I think it's really, really honourable that Saif has obviously worked with you here, and it's really good. And I think, like myself, I've reached out to Saif in the past, and I've even sent you some songs, and you know, I was surprised when you replied and you were like, oh, you need to do this or do this or do this, and I felt like, oh, okay, somebody's actually taking the time. So
but why are we here, as an artist, as a role model, as what am I, if I don't respond, what am I representing? I don't understand why. So I could have done mainstream music, and yes, there's this barrier between people. The reason why I love what I do, and I sing songs and write songs about people and Allah, is because I think that's just what brings us closer. And I can't imagine not I can't imagine seeing someone send a message, because we all have time, and if there's artists listening, you always do have time, whether it's 1,000. I once had to go through, like, I didn't understand Instagram DMs, and then when someone showed me how to go to it, I think it was like 3,000.
Oh no.
But I said, you know what, tomorrow I'm going through each and every one and I'm going to respond to them. And I think we don't realize how much we can inspire each other.
It means a lot to someone who doesn't see himself as like, you know.
It meant a lot to me when, you know, I reached out to you and you actually got a response and you gave me the time of the day.
Yeah, man.
And it felt like I felt like, okay, I think I want to move this on to the next day. I want to carry on, and it builds confidence. And I think we need to build that confidence within our communities. And I know that part of your PR tour has been to go around schools. We've got 30 seconds left for a break, so after the break we're going to talk about this, but I know you've been around schools and the impact you guys must be having on young people and young females especially. Okay, I think that must be really, really powerful. So, you know, I think this is really honorable. I think it's great what you've done, Zaid. And, you know, mashallah, I hope that other people out there have an opportunity to connect with people. But stay tuned, listeners, because we will be back after the break. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, listeners. That was I'm Here from Zaid Isa's debut album, which just released, I believe, a couple of days ago. Am I right, Zaid?
9th of Feb.
9th of Feb.
Yeah.
Excellent. On Friday. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to your songs during the day, and I really, really enjoy them. So how's the PR tour going for you so far? Do you feel like you've engaged with people in the way that you wanted to?
Yeah, so it's a mix of television, radio, and the other aspect which you spoke about, the going to the schools and giving back, and, you know, really seeing the future and singing. And it's the schools is a very different perspective, because you're entertaining, but at the same time has a, like, if I could explain it, television is more about yourself and telling everyone about the album, and it's very like about the brand. And then when you go to the schools, you're singing, but it's actually more, it feels more for the kids in a way.
So it's interactive, isn't it?
It's very interactive, and you get a more, how can I explain? It's from the heart, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that you were down in Peterborough just on Wednesday visiting Iqra Academy. Yeah. And they said a lot of good things about you guys, and apparently because you were with the school choir as well, and they really, really enjoyed that. So they were really pleased that you came down, and that was fantastic. Okay, so a few questions about you yourself and what kickstarted you into music. Now, we talked earlier on about creativity. We all have a creative side. Some of us might be fine artists. Some of us might be runners. Some of us might like to play a musical instrument. So, what was it that kind of inspired you and helped you decide that music or singing is what you want to do?
So I think I came to a point in my life where I wanted to live life from like a place of passion and a place of total joy, if you get what I'm saying, where I just wanted to do something that I totally loved, and singing was always something I could do, and I knew I could surround myself with Islam through the nasheed. So you wake up in the morning and you think about your nasheeds, for example, from the whole process, from writing, you got to think about Allah first, you got to write about Allah, then you got to sing about Allah, then you share that experience with everybody. So I felt it was like something that had total, it immersed me in what I felt my life should be about.
And maybe because you do that, it's so easy to write about that and write nasheeds, because like you say, you wake up in the morning, you think about Allah, you pray your salahs. So writing about something that you do all the time would come naturally and easy, right? Absolutely. Wow, fantastic. Now, how long have you been singing?
Professionally, I'd say like 3.5 to 4 years. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a very, very rough estimate, but yeah.
So you see, that is, to me, that's pretty outstanding, right? Because every time, everyone we've interviewed here, or every artist that we speak to, they talk about how they were doing it as a kid, you know, and they had a passion as a kid. And maybe you had your passion as a kid, but you haven't actually really started singing.
Yeah, I was someone who sang sort of like very few people would have heard me sing like throughout my life. And
so really, as an adult,
yeah, but there's pros and cons. I always think about that. I think about it like, wow, if I started at like 15 years old, where would I be, you know? But at the same time, I think about it, I started a bit more mature.
Yeah.
I had a bit more like life experience, and that really helped with the writing and you know, the ability to come over to the UK. There's always a perspective. You can look at it
I mean,
as you lost time or you gain knowledge, you know, and you started off on the front foot rather than the back foot.
Yeah. I mean, I always think, wow, isn't it so lucky that these artists are singing from a really, really young age? They're getting all this time to perfect and, you know, make their talent, you know, beautify their art. But here you are, in 3.5 to 4 years, you've thought, I'm going to sing. You've started to sing, obviously singing in the shower or singing at home or whatever, to having a final product on the table, you know, ready to put out. So I commend you for that. I think that's fantastic.
Once again, like for the youngsters listening, it's not like just, I know you've like shortened the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I've been for vocal assessments. I've been, I believe in YouTube and Google and vocal lessons, vocal coaching, just to like, whatever I can pick up, I'll do it. And then once you reach a professional level and start working with people safe, then you really hone in and you really, like, you got to make everything professional. I don't know if you understand my explanation. So once you start growing, well, you always have to actually grow, to be honest. And it's just setting a standard. So like from the start, I think maybe because I was mature and maybe because of the information that I took in, I always said I needs to be at that level. So that's why I had the sort of guts to message someone that's safe, like Safe Adam. It's not arrogant. It's just, as Muslims, we must have high standards. Why must I be like an average singer?
Why settle for less, right?
Whatever your best is, try and get there.
Absolutely, reach your goal and reach your potential. Yeah. So I suppose my next question is, what is talent, and do you have to have talent to become an artist or to put your music out there? Because maybe when you were the age of 20, you didn't even know that this was going to happen to you. But on the other hand, we've got people like, I don't know, Harris J, mashallah, very talented, or we've got Justin Bieber and all the other artists out there who've been singing from a very young age. Do you need talent, or is it commitment?
I think it's a combination of both. I think without the talent, you can have as much commitment. But yeah, but I think most people who are like on the top, they would say you need a bit of talent, and the rest is persistent, hard work, discipline, all the things that nurture that talent and make it into the product. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's people who are highly talented, but they haven't developed the other aspects. So you don't get a chance to show your talent off. If you know what I'm saying. So
their talent could be hidden inside them, and they don't even know that they have it, right?
Yeah, sure. I would say that was me. I would say, I could sing, but like, the stage is like for professionals, you know.
This is what we were talking about earlier on, right? It's an us and them thing. We never think we can get there.
But once you take the first step, you're like, oh, wait a second, and then you take the next step and the next step. It's like a walk in the dark, you know. And every once in a while, there's like a bolt of lightning, and you see the path, and you just keep walking.
Wow.
And eventually, the lights come on, and alhamdulillah, Allah has. There's the song called Allah Will Take You There.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, did you think 4 years ago that you would have this opportunity, that you'll be doing a PR tour? Is it surreal though? How does it feel? Is it something that you never thought you'd do, or do you think, this is my goal, I'm gonna get there?
I have to be honest, from the time I started this, I feel like Allah has put a certain fire in my heart that I'm not saying this was specifically the thing, but I really did feel like I found something that I think, wow, like this might go all the way. I don't think I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but I was working towards being as good as I could possibly be.
Okay.
But
so you had ambitions, right? You wanted to get here.
You know what? It's not like I want to be like. It wasn't like that. It's just in my heart. It was just in that direction. I would also find it a bit weird for myself to. It was just something that was pushing me, and I was following it
So
rather than.
Felt right.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, you know, when you just know something is right, because it's stupid to leave your country, and never met someone before. Even at the airport, they stopped me. I was like, have you met this person? I was like, no, and they made me sit down and like, we need to check out who this guy is. And at that point, I'm thinking to myself,
"Oh, I don't."
Like, his Facebook profile is verified, and he's like, it is Saif Adam I've been speaking to, right? You know, because
Oh wow.
it obviously. I mean, I'm just saying.
You have that moment. Right?
I'm just saying it is crazy, but I think I mentioned to you this like earlier. Like, you gotta be a bit crazy.
Yeah.
And when
You gotta take a risk, right?
you just know Allah is there, and I really think this is something. It feels special to me, so I'm going with it. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Inshallah, it will work out.
That's excellent. Okay, so 10 years. In 10 years' time, where do you see yourself? What do you think you're going
I
to
always get this question. So, the way it is now, I'd like to be in 10 years' time where I'm doing what's in front of me, living from my heart, trying to do the best, work with the best. Saif is here. And when I'm there in 10 years' time, I'll think about it like this. I'm here now. What's the best I can do? What's the direction? Because you can never really project, eh?
No.
Yeah, you can never really project. So, 10 years' time doesn't exist. So, the only thing that exists is being here. So, that's how I want to.
Taking the reins now, right?
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way for me to enjoy, and I found, like, once again, like, if something is happening right for me, I'll just go with it. Yeah.
I think that's interesting because you're not the only person to answer that question in that way. So
Okay.
if that makes you feel any better.
Okay.
Now you talked about vocal lessons.
Yeah.
So you went for vocal lessons, and
It's a funny story because I never really went for proper vocal lessons.
Okay.
But, you know, we talk about that moment where you're a bit doubty, like you're doubtful. So I used to go to vocal coaches. So I said, let me try this out. Then I would go and they would say, okay, you need to sing and you need to hold a note here and hold. Then afterwards they would be like, so, okay, what do you want me to teach you?
yeah.
And I'd be like, teach me how to sing. Like, I didn't have that self-belief. And I'd be like, I want you to teach me how, but they'll be like, but what else? You already can sing. I didn't realize that I could actually naturally sing well, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I don't want to sound too.
No. Alhamdulillah.
but-
it's important to recognize what we can do, right?
Yeah. So it's not like, it's a lesson in belief
yeah,
that, like, go and see what you can do.
you can do.
And then after that, I actually went for a few vocal assessments. Then what I did was I felt like I don't want to wait too long and do a whole year of vocal
Yeah.
lessons before I start. So I started writing, and I used to go to the vocal coaches to teach me how to sing my song properly.
Wow.
So I have one song, teach me how to sing this really well. Then, like, it sort of cut the timeline because I don't need to learn every single song in the world
No.
and hit every single note. Let me teach me how to sing my song, and that I sort of developed a bit quicker in that way. But yeah, I just think at every moment, don't feel like bad to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because everyone who's on the top was always at some point at the bottom,
Yeah.
and people understand that. I'm sure Saif understands that. You know, he was once in my position, and you know, you passed the knowledge, and I hope, inshallah, to do the same.
Can I just say that was my favourite part, man? That where you are, it's just like it's a blank canvas. It's wherever Allah wants it to go, and how much commitment you have. And
I feel when you whenever I over-focused on things, I have to be on Salaam Radio. I have to be on Salaam Radio. It doesn't happen. It was Allahu Alam, is it
Yeah,
Allahu Alam?
yeah.
Then suddenly Toqeer will phone and say,
Hey, come on my show.
come on my show. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I was supposed to leave that to Allah.
Yeah, and this is it, right?
Mm.
And I suppose it's really important to have this attitude, and a lot
Yeah.
of people we don't, do we? And I think this is an important message for the listeners. I think this is an important message for the younger listeners. If you want to do something, be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
If you go in a direction, whatever your plan is, Allah Ta'ala will always kind of like put you in that direction if it's meant to be for you. You know?
And like, if my first songs were successful in South Africa, I would just probably become arrogant and be like, I don't need to work with anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
But because I failed, I was like, oh, something's wrong, yeah? Let me move forward. I failed again. Let me move forward. I failed again. And then eventually that opened up like much bigger doors.
Wow. And I think that's so, what you just said there is quite profound, because you said, I failed. And I think, first of all, admitting where you are, where you've gone wrong, is the only way you're going to realize what you need to do next. If you don't accept your failure, or where you haven't done as well, maybe, let's put a positive spin on it, you're not going to move forward, are you? And this is also what I'm also teaching my kids. And even as a safe, I mean, you're an established artist, I mentioned this before, but there must be moments in your career where you're trying to sing this, or you can't get this voice out, or you're stuck with a song, or you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like almost like at every point, like at every point where you are, whether you're starting out, whether you've finished your album, that's the thing. There's always going to be something else. Like for me, you know, now I've done what I've done, and there's always something else that I want to do next. And I don't know, I just find it as like, you know, when we approach like a degree, for example, you know, like university, it doesn't say you can do 4 years and cram it into 1 year and then you've got your qualification. Like, it doesn't work. Life doesn't work like that. So, you know, there's investment, there's time, there's commitment. You need support from your family. You need support from your loved ones. You need a bit of space sometimes. It's very similar. Writing an album's like getting a degree, but it is the time scale is almost exactly the same. You know, you get, and even after you finish your degree, you don't even know if you're going to get the right job, you know, the right salary that you want. You know, it's like what you want, but it's not actually up to us. And albums are the same. Sometimes they just shoot and they do really, really well. Sometimes it does something and that's it. You just have to be able to, you know, have that structure within yourself to go again. Just what Zaid Isa was saying.
Yeah.
Just going again. You know.
Not giving up.
Yeah. Because you're always going to want more. I'll be honest with you. You're always going to want to do more, and you always want to. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
so you're never
it's
actually ever going to. You're never going to be content. I know people that got like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and even then they want more. They want more. Like, so, I've just realised through like my growth and maturity that you just need the contentment. Search for that. That's the power. And when you have that as an artist, that's when you can create your best music as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier on, I was listening to the to your album. It's great, mashallah.
Shukran.
And the one song that I really, really liked is, I think it's called Smile.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that song. I love the kind of like acoustic vibe to it. I was wondering, I know I'm going to put you on the spot now. Is it okay if you could give us a live demonstration of that? And
can I give you like the first verse to chorus?
Of course, yeah, whatever.
So it's called, it's Sunnah to Smile.
It's Sunnah to Smile. Apologies. It's Sunnah to Smile.
Hardship, friendships, roller coaster. If you keep complaining, you'll feel older. Your time is precious, the clock is ticking. So stop wasting time and just start living. We all got problems, trials to face. We all don't know which road to take, but you know you got this moment. And it's time to own it. The sun will always shine, even after stormy weather. It might take some time, but we always must remember that it's enough to smile. We're living in this moment, so just smile. No one's gonna judge you if you smile. Open up your heart and let it shine. Let it shine. So just smile, yeah. We're living in this moment, so just smile. No one's gonna judge you if you smile. Open up your heart and let it shine. So all you gotta do is just smile, smile, smile. Oh, smile, smile, smile. Smile, smile, smile. Oh, smile, smile, smile.
That was awesome. I really, really like that song. Mashallah, well done. That was
Cool,
really
man.
well done. Oh, excellent.
It's nice,
Thanks,
isn't
man.
it?
It's got such a nice message to it as well, isn't
And
it?
we're all smiling.
Yeah, we are. So you've done it. You've done
That
it.
was
We're
one of
all
the-
smiling.
That was one of the, that was, I think, the famous song at the schools.
Yeah,
Everyone was
yeah,
like,
they was loving it.
I did this thing where it's like, smile. Everyone had to say, smile when I pick my hands up. So everyone was like, smile, smile, smile.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like
The
it.
best one earlier today was on another station, and he was like, "Okay, the deal is trying not to smile," and then we're all like, really serious face, and then by the second verse, we're all just like, smile. So it's really cool.
Fantastic.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Okay, so I've got a slightly different question.
sure.
We got young people around us all the time
Okay.
who always look up to artists like Saif, like Harris, or mainstream artists. What would the one profound thing that you would take from your career or your experience and share with them? What's the one thing that you would advise them?
Nasheed artist or any type?
Anything about art?
I think if your art, firstly, you'll know it's your thing when you have that passion and that drive. Do that thing that makes you wake up in the morning and put all your energy towards it, and you're excited all the time. Do that thing that makes you most excited. And once you find that thing, I'd say pick the person who can do it the best and try and model yourself around it. You don't need to reinvent any wheels or anything. Model yourself and put your own spin on it. Have high standards. Always connect yourself to your religion. So whatever you do, you'll have peace of mind. You'll be content. And leave it in the hands of Allah afterwards. You make your dua and you start walking. I'd say that's my advice. Yeah.
Excellent. And I think that's just the right kind of message that we needed. Well, an hour goes by so quickly,
an
guys.
hour?
We've
It's been an hour?
It has
No.
been. We got 50 seconds
Oh my
before
word,
we go
wow.
off. So, as always, guys, remember you can text and WhatsApp in on 07745278978. This show is on Facebook Live. You can go back, have a look. Please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Now, the Arts, Culture and Lifestyle show, remember this was a brand new show for today. Please tune in 2 weeks' time. This show is going to be running every fortnight. And if you have any ideas, if you want to contribute, if you'd like to be on the show, if you think you've got a talent that you would like to share, we would really, really love to hear from you. Now, the next show is going to be, I can't remember the date now, 2 weeks' time, and we're going to have some jam-packed stuff for you. But until then, Assalamu alaikum, take care, be safe, and be arty.